And we have now stepped forward to have a discussion about the black male secret society known as Sigma Pi Phi, acronym the Boulé, B-O-U-L-E. Much of our black press, as much as we like it, has not been honest in talking about this group of black men, for they respect it very highly and never speak negatively against it. We also know that we've had many black people who've been a member of it and have never ever broken the code or the creed and spoken to one who was a non-member. So they pledge and swear that their goal is to represent you. You will have a hard time believing it when they don't even seek to let you know that they who help you are. And so, in July 17th, 1990, July 18th, 1990, the Los Angeles Times did a front page story on the left column about elite fraternity of black men. Excuse me, brother. I should be on. I saw that one get away. I'm just shaming myself. I stand back here. This elite fraternity of black men were described in the article as being influential, as being somewhat like Skull and Bones at Yale. And as it said these things, I was a little in awe, as the others, brothers in African Minds United and the Coalition Against Black Exploitation, as we all were intrigued by the fact that this group of men could have been in existence and we not know about them. And even other brothers and sisters. I remember talking to a brother who had been National Executive Secretary of Sigma, Phi Beta Sigma, been in fraternity land 37 years, had heard nothing of the Boulé ever, though its founder had been a member. And so, as we began to talk about it with other people around the country, we began to realize that people didn't know about it. How you doing, brother Warren? And not knowing that people didn't know about it, we just assumed that it was incidental, that everybody must know something about it, and that it was not mysterious or connected to all of those other things we had previously been talking about, like Cecil Rhodes and Baron de Rothschild and all the Halls of Haters, the ADL and the Diamond Jewish Connection. We've been talking about the Trilateral Commission, who is responsible for this economic summit that you'll be seeing on TV the next 3-4 days. You need to know that. Anybody? Carl Rowan came on the radio right here in LA. And my friends jumped him, because we jumping them in every city. And when they jumped him, he said the Trilateral Commission ain't done nothing. But the Trilateral Commission went to the president and had him set up the annual economic summit starting in '76, France. So when you listen to how your destiny of your country, they say, rides on that meeting, you wonder how Warren could make such an allegation, but knowing as a Boulé in Washington, D.C. Epsilon chapter, his goal is to never speak of the high, white, and mighty whom the Boulé, all 3,300, are sworn to protect. Yes, these brothers that we are pushing up against the wall have taken a sworn oath that they will never expose the whites that they know actually run the world. They, in ambition and in deference to liberation and respect of the race, have agreed to maintain the status quo of white supremacy, which has two levels of white supremacy: a local, limited, parochial side, the Ku Klux Klan, the Reardons, the Kenny Hans, the local clans, but has a powerful, more mighty upper crust, which probably would include Occidental Petroleum and Arco and Exxon and Mobil Oil and the Rockefeller Foundation and other influential, wealthy families and institutions. So what we're talking about is, why haven't you heard of those people who are in the secret society? It's because the people who you look to, who you would most suspect would tell you, have sworn that they never will. because of that, that leaves the sub-leadership, the other group of people that you like a lot, that leaves them to tell you, the heads of the various organizations as you know them. But if you listen to them, they have never said of these black men, for that they did not know. Which means that Malcolm, we know, knew of these men. We know Marcus Garvey knew of these men because their crowning, most outstanding achievement was the physical elimination and castigation of Marcus Garvey and the insistence and the climate setting that brought about the death of Malcolm X. This is the original LA Times article. Everybody see that? Yeah. Did you see that when it ran in 1990? Yeah. You did see it? No, you didn't see it. What's the date on it? That's July 18th, 1990. Elite fraternity widens agenda of black men. This is the original article that came out on the Boulé that we just casually discussed here at the Good Life, which led to this penetration. Because by the time Brother Oswald gets up and starts decodifying a little of that symbolism, you will see that we have in fact cracked a riddle that has contained our people. Our people have been contained by an organized element of secret people who have used riddles, mysteries, and secret societies to jam us. And what we are doing is we are unlocking or decodifying the mystery, because once decodified and exposed, those who are secret in the light will not be as effective. Because what we found out is that when you're a skull and bones, when you go over, you're called a knight. And the knight is symbolic of the knight of the round table. And that round table is the code word or the buzzword for an upper secret society that's in a book called Anglo-American Establishment, written by Carol Quigley. And in that book, he said in the opening that secret society of which the Rhodes Scholars come from is known as several names. This society has been known at various times as Milner's Kindergarten, as the Round Table Group. Okay, just hold it right there. Look at that page a second if you can read it, because that page is very significant to the discussion of who it is might be the ones that the Boulé has to cover for. In other words, they're covering for something. Now we know whatever they're covering for is beastly. Check. In the book by Manly Palmer Hall on the flower, plant, fruits, and trees, there was a tree showing the Knights of the Round Table. What I thought was interesting when I looked at the tree carefully is that in your mind we always thought about the tree in 12. But if you look carefully, see at the tree of the Knights of the Round Table, you find out that there are 1 knight, 2 knights, 3 knights, 4 knights, 5 knights, 6 knights, 7 knights, 8 knights, 9 knights. Those 9 represent the symbolic 9 that's used in the Grecian Sphinx, which we'll be talking about shortly. Now we're going to show from that eulogy of Charles Wesley's. In that same book, that same night, we found this in tribute to Wesley. Look carefully at the wordage. I'll give you a second to read it. Table Round. You find that for some reason they take Alfred Lord Tennyson and put him on the left side and put Wesley on the right side. The only thing is similar in both discussions is the damn word round table. Model for a mighty world. What's that in the man's hand? What's that in the man's hand? Brother Quasi, does that have any symbolism there, that little spike with the light on it?
Oh, yes, sir.
What would that mean?
Prometheus. Prometheus is one who stole the light. All the Greeks had to pass burning sands. Burning sands is coming across from the air to Mount Olympus, where the light was from Ethiopia. That's why we got the Statue of Liberty, because the French gave marriage to the Statue of Liberty because they're the land base. So they got the new life.
We just heard from Carol Quigley, who talked about the top of the white secret societies. And he says it's known by several names, which you knew that anything you ever read on the Illuminati says we will have numerous names. You will not know it as one name. It does not even go under the name Illuminati. That is that Illuminati you've been looking for.
Round table, that's it.
And the Boulé will never acknowledge knowledge of it because it's their goal to protect it and keep it secret. Maybe that's why they didn't want to tell us who they were, because then we'd have to say, well, what are you doing standing there?